except for one poll, which I won't name, the trend lines have been fairly positive over the past month.
No, they've been positive.
But it's still
If you look at the trend lines, you'd rather be Kamala Harris right now than Donald Trump. If you want to win this election, right? Because you look at the long-term trend line and you see that it has crept up, and then she's getting awfully close to that 50%. And,
right.
And Trump is basically steady. He's basically got 45, 46%.
Right.
Punto, that's it. But he's overperformed his polls in some prior elections. Everybody remembers 2016. Nobody is going to feel confident, and no one should feel confident because it's going to be a turnout election. I mean, if Harris gets her voters to the polls, they've got the machine out there to do it. But if they get their voters to the polls, then that's a very different story from if they don't.
Right.
So.
And Elizabeth, you look at these numbers. Obviously, in the Bloomberg News Morning Consult poll, Harris is doing well. The trend lines are very positive. You go back to before she was in the race and it was Joe Biden. You started to see states like Minnesota, Virginia, New Hampshire suddenly get uncomfortably close. Those races are no longer close. Trump's basically turning the towel off. So it really has. For those that say, oh, it would be the same with Biden, things have dramatically shifted.
A major difference. And as Jane says, the trend line is up for her consistently. We have polling showing that she is doing better on the economy than she was even 2 weeks ago, that she is beginning to catch up with Trump on her perceptions of who would be better for the economy. She's out there talking about what a rich guy he is and how she's, that she's a capitalist for the middle class. Her speech recently where she made clear, as he is saying, I'm not a Marxist, I'm not a socialist, I'm not a communist, I'm a capitalist, trying to, show friendliness towards business. She's got, a lot of these tax cuts, a lot of these plans for the young people, $25,000. I don't know where she's going to get the money for this, but she's talking about this $25,000 credit for first-time home buyers, $50,000 for startup new businesses. So she's beginning to make inroads there. But I should say, yes, there's a lot of concern about these hidden Trump voters. I can tell you that there are more newly registered Republicans this cycle than there are registered Democrats, despite the stories we've been running about all the college kids signing up. And and Trump is doing, in that group, he's doing better among younger men of color than you would expect.
Right. And Katie, the one thing that we have heard from the Harris campaign, even those that will be cautiously optimistic, is that Pennsylvania is the new Ohio. Pennsylvania has had a surge in Republican registration over the past 4 years. So they still believe they can and will win Pennsylvania, but they feel good about Michigan. They feel good about Wisconsin, relatively good. It may be a landslide. Maybe they'll win by a full percentage point in both of those states. But in Pennsylvania, they know it's going to be a fight, and it's going to be a fight because she's doing better, much better among women and most young voters, but older white men, just like people thought after Biden left the race, more of a challenge, pulling them to vote against Trump again.
Yeah, I mean, older white men and actually younger white men too, also a bit of a challenge. I mean, that number they'll like a lot, up +5 in Pennsylvania, because you're right, it's the new Ohio, it's the new Florida, it's the state where they see they have the most problems. And of course, then either the concern or the upside, depending on how you look at this from the Harris campaign's point of view, is that Pennsylvania, Michigan and Wisconsin people think will break the same way. That's what they've done traditionally ever since 1980. I think there's one exception. And so if they lose Pennsylvania, what would that then mean for Wisconsin and Michigan? If they win Wisconsin and Michigan, does that mean they're going to win Pennsylvania? But that's why they're putting so much resources into that. But it's men. I mean, I think the real struggle for the Harris campaign is young men, older men, men of color, white men, and they are doing all they can. You can see, I think the debate next week will be really interesting to see how Tim Walz reaches out to that group. Doug Emhoff, who I interviewed yesterday, I think we've got a clip of that we can have later on the programme. He is making a concerted effort in his own way to reach out to that group. They know that that's where they know that's where they have a weakness.
More Morning Joe Weekend after a quick break.
Looking for a way to stretch the dollar? With Insurify, you can cut your car insurance bill in half. Getting a deal on car insurance from Insurify is super easy, and all you need is a phone and a finger. Scroll through dozens of prices and tap to switch online. That's it. No phone calls and no wasted time. It's just like searching for a flight or hotel online. Enter your car information, and Insurify does the rest. Go to Insurify and save today.
Check if you're overpaying for car insurance. Go to Insurify.com.
We started to use Square as we moved from one location to two. We quickly realised that we needed better data so that we could customise the curation for each of the markets. Originally, we started with the KDS. By adding the Square Online for the full grocery offering, we hope to grow sales about 20-25%. And we used the loyalty program, which has definitely generated a lot of repeat business. Since onboarding with Square, we've tripled the business. It's been fantastic.
10 villains. Oh! And a million backstabs. To claim the crown. What? E's House of Villains returns October 9th on E!
For years, I've been very conscious of the water that I drink. I always filter it. And I realized I wasn't thinking about the water I shower with. So I switched to the Jolie filtered shower head. And it has been life-changing. My skin feels so soft. It's not as dry or itchy anymore. My hair is also softer and doesn't get tangled as much. So, highly recommend.
Precise designs, subtle curves, curated upgrades. Custom configurations create a space that's uniquely timeless, yet distinctly personal. Elevated design for thoughtful living. Thuma.
I'm interested in trying these new weight loss shots. But I need it to be more affordable because my insurance doesn't cover it. I'm not sure which online provider to trust, and I want to ask a doctor a lot of questions.
You don't have to whisper. At Henry Meds, our knowledgeable providers demystify compounded semaglutide, the same active ingredient in brand name weight management meds. If you're eligible for treatment, your medication will be shipped to your door for just $2.97 a month. Join thousands of others who trust Henry Meds for weight management medication.
Can you believe that in just 1 year they go from this to this? The Play Kits by Lovevery are there for all of the moments in between. When you're wondering how to get the most from playtime or how to help them hit a new milestone, the Play Kits make it easy and fun, with the right play essentials delivered just in time for their next stage, and practical guidance for parents. Be ready on day one with the Looker Play Kit, designed by experts for your child's developing brain. Visit lovevery.com to learn more.
This is a keepsake frame. This is actually a photo from my wedding. I'm Adam Weiss, founder and CEO of Keepsake, the mobile app that makes it easy to have your photos printed, framed, and shipped to your doorstep. You just choose a photo that you love, you can preview it in over 100 frames, and in a couple of days, you're gonna receive your photo in a beautiful, handmade frame. So if you've got a special photo on your phone, install the free Keepsake app. We would love a chance to frame it for you.
The first debate between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump.
It was by far the best debate performance against Donald Trump ever by anyone.
I think she reached the people sitting at home.
It's a big deal.
Hello, everyone. This is your favorite president, Donald J. Trump, with some very exciting news. By popular demand, I'm doing a new series of Trump digital trading cards. You all know what they are. We've had a lot of fun with them. It's called the America First Collection. 50 all-new stunning digital trading cards. It's really something. These cards show me dancing and even me holding some Bitcoins. We are announcing the launch of Trump Coins, a true symbol of American greatness. Trump Coins are designed by me and minted right here in the USA. I've seen a lot of coins out there using my very beautiful face. I'm a very beautiful guy. I'm only kidding. But they are not the official coin. RealTrumpCoins.com is the only place to get an official Trump coin. I'm here to introduce something really special. I think you're going to love it. my new Trump watches. We're doing quite a number with watches, and the quality to me is very important. The Trump Victory Tourbillon. This isn't just any watch, it's one of the best watches made. Get your Trump watch right now. Go to gettrumpwatches.com. It's Trump time.
I will say, Willie, this is politics just keeps moving. Wow. It just keeps slipping into the future. I will say this is my favorite use of merchandising by presidents since Gerald R. Ford sold his own personalized leather football helmets. And of course, you had Michael Dukakis in '88 with his push lawnmowers that he signed also. But nothing like this. Nothing like this.
You know, it's getting very expensive to be a supporter of Donald Trump. You got the digital NFTs. You got to buy the sneakers. You got to buy the Bible, of course, the Trump Bible. Yeah. And now you've got to buy a watch. I mean, this guy's really asking a lot of his people. Did you love, too, when he called himself a very beautiful man and then pretended he was kidding, but wasn't kidding?
You know, one of those watches is actually $100,000.
$100,000? I just saw that.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
$100,000 for that. Tourbillon. Wow. A disclaimer on the website notes the proceeds do not directly benefit Trump or his campaign. No. Not directly.
Not directly.
But that each was part of a paid licensing
First
agreement.
goes through PayPal and then to
Whoa. I mean...
Caddy, do they do this in Britain?
No, but you know, our elections only cost, I figured it out the other day, it's about 50 million for a whole general election in the UK. So that's kind of bargain basement democracy, right? I mean, ours is cheap by comparison.
It's
that's
like
about the sum. Totally, it's a state election. It's less. It's probably one congressional race in New York or California.
That might win you comptroller of Vermont.
Dog walker of Burlington.
We were taking an office bet about what product he would hawk next.
Yeah.
I think he's going to get his own version of a Cybertruck. And Trump Cybertruck.
I think it's going to be blue sneakers like Sam's.
He's already done sneakers. Is
that what you're wearing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not Trump sneakers.
I would say, Elizabeth, there's such a disconnect between those people who are all in for Donald Trump, who sees this as like Christmas morning.
To buy a watch.
It's very exciting.
$100,000 for a watch. Can you imagine if the Democrats were doing something like this? I mean, I saw that the Trump campaign was going after Kamala Harris's necnecklaces and saying how much they were costing.
Yeah.
They weren't 100. This is amazing.
Yeah. No,
but he's entertaining.
Nothing matters.
Look, he's entertaining. Let's not forget.
That goes more kind of seriously. I was speaking to some business people this week who are Trump leaning, and they say, yeah, okay, well, he says all of the stuff about the immigrants. We don't like that. We don't like his character. But, you know, things were more stable under Trump. The economy was doing better under Trump.
Not true.
That's whether it's true or not. Those are the people who will turn out and vote for him, and that's why the Harris campaign, understandably, is right to be careful and cautious about the polls, because they know that there are a whole bunch of people out there who are prepared to disregard Donald Trump's rhetoric and selling watches and saying, I'm beautiful.
It's the corporate tax
but
cut,
actually,
it's deregulation.
It's deregulation and tax cuts.
But aren't
it's pretty
business
simple.
people supposed to manage risk? Right? The risk, the added
that's
risk
the alternative, is the chaos factor
is magnitudes greater than the risk with
tariffs, chaos factor, deportation of immigrants, which would push up wage prices. There's a whole load of